All right, y'all, this week we're going to learn about how we can use VAs or virtual assistants to help grow our businesses. So a VA is simply someone that works for you completely virtually online, and they're going to accomplish whatever tasks you've set them out to accomplish. Now, when do you need a VA? Typically, you need a VA when you're at a point in your business where you know there's things you need to accomplish, but you don't have the time because you're so busy elsewhere. This is oftentimes things like data entry, email list building, emails, social media management, etc. So where are the best places to find a VA? Well, there's a lot of good options out there. You could go on Upwork.com and make a job posting. You could go on Fiverr and search for a VA and look at the highest rated ones. Or what I found to be the best resource is a site called onlinejobs.ph. This is a Filipino job site and it's full of excellent VA candidates. You go on there, you make a post, you'll get applications. Now, no matter what source you're using to get your VAs, when you're making your job posting, there's a few things you need to keep in mind. The first thing is do not use your main email, because if you're getting postings or if you're posting it from overseas, you will get a ton of applicants. So don't use your main email, set up a separate email, a spam email, whatever. The second thing is, in order to weed out the good from the bad, what you want to do is in your job application posting, make it a decently long, like a paragraph or two, and somewhere in the middle of the text that's kind of hidden, say something like, if you've read this far, put the word lemon in your email subject line when you apply. This is going to weed out anyone who's just mass applying and not actually reading through the job posting. So then when you get all these emails, anyone that doesn't have the word lemon, you can just delete because you know they didn't actually take the time to read your whole posting. Now, a few other things to keep in mind when trying to find a VA, you want to make sure they speak excellent English, especially if they're going to be doing something like social media management where they might be writing captions or making creatives or emails, etc. You want to make sure their English is excellent, so that's going to be something you're going to want to have top of mind in your interview process. Another thing I would recommend is make sure that they're able to work on your timetable. For example, David and I have a VA who runs all of our Instagram content, and she's in the Philippines, which is a completely different time zone than Central Time in Texas, where David is, and Eastern Time in Rhode Island, where I am. So she works for us from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time, which I believe is around the middle of the night for her, but she's willing to do it. The reason we have her work these hours is because if she has questions and she puts them in our Discord channel, I need to be able to respond. But if she was working in the daytime, her time, which would be the nighttime, my time, there would be a whole delay of response. So you want to make sure they're willing to work on a timetable that works for you, where you are available to talk with them, answer any questions, etc. Now, another thing you're going to want to keep in mind when hiring a VA is how you're going to communicate with them. We use Discord for our VAs, and we just have Discord channels in there for them. You could use something like Slack, WhatsApp, Discord, etc. It really doesn't matter, but you're going to want to have a good way of communication where you can have them have their dedicated workspace, where they can ask questions, where you can share files, etc. Okay, so now that we know what a VA is, what they can help you with, and some general guidelines as to how to find one, we're going to dig into the real meat and potatoes here, and this is the most important aspect of what will make or break the success of your VA, and that is having an SOP, or a standard operating procedure, for every task that you have a VA accomplishing. For example, David and I have a VA that handles all of our social media. She goes in and she makes all of our Instagram creative, she makes all the posts, she puts in all the hashtags, she writes the copy, she does everything because we don't have the time to do that. The reason she's able to do this from the Philippines as someone who doesn't know anything about our business is because I created an extensive standard operating procedure document for her to follow to make it as easy as possible to make sure things are being done the right way. So we're going to jump into my screen. I'm going to show you what this SOP looks like, and I'm going to give you some tips on how to create your own. So let's jump into the screen. I'll see you there. We're going to break down the SOP that we use, and this is a solid template, and you could pretty much take this template and change it for whatever task you wanted your VA to do. So this one right here is what we gave to our VA, Ira, who handles all of our social media posting 5 days a week. So a couple things to keep in mind before we get into this. Remember that if someone overseas, they're going to be someone who English is not their first language. They're from a completely different culture and they know nothing about your business. So you want your SOP to be fairly straightforward, step by step, make it simple. The point of your SOP is so it will hold their hand and guide them step by step through the entire process, ideally without them having to come to you for questions. A lot of times when people hire a VA, they spend just as much time holding the VA's hand or double checking or editing their work as they would just doing the work themselves, and it defeats the purpose. So we're going to break down the SOP here. So the first section, we just say, hey, if you have any questions, put them in the Discord channel under the questions channel. And then we just have a whole resource here. These are all the tools that she needs in order to do her monthly tasks. And we'll see each of these tools in more detail as we go through the steps. So again, her job is to handle our Instagram. She has to create the creative, she has to create the copy, she has to come up with the ideas, etc. So step 1, monthly content ideas brainstorming sheet. Each month you will use our monthly content idea sheet to brainstorm 40 content ideas for Instagram carousels. So each month we want 40 ideas, and then we typically approve about 20 or 25 of those ideas for her. So we have the monthly content idea sheet linked. She just has to click on that. And you can see we have March, that's when she started, April, May, June. So these are all the ideas that she comes up with. She actually typically goes above and beyond. She has 62 ideas here. So for each idea, you will write 1 or 2 sentences summarizing the idea. We call this an idea in a sentence. For example, clients don't buy videos, they buy results, and we have a big example right here. This is an example of an idea in a sentence of a real life post. I've linked the idea, we link it. As you can see, everything's linked in here, as well as we have the tools resource. We're just trying to make it as simple as possible. Anything that you really want to be highlighted, just go ahead and highlight it and make things as streamlined as possible. So basically what she's doing here, she's putting her 40 ideas into the sheet. And then the next step is once you have your 40 ideas, let us know inside the channel under your workspace. So she lets me know, hey Mark, I've got my 40 ideas for the month. Can you go in and check on them? On the right hand side of the monthly content idea sheet, again, we have it hyperlinked. We have the approved checkboxes. And again, I show a clear screenshot of what this is going to look like so she knows exactly what to look for. So we want to approve 25 ideas per month. If we have approved more than 25 ideas, the extra ideas can carry over to the next month. So what I do is I go into her ideas and I just go here and I click the checkbox on all of the ideas that are approved. Anything that we don't approve, we leave blank. Then she knows what ideas to take into next steps. So the next step where she would take those 40 ideas is to write approved ideas in post format. Once you have your 25 approved ideas, the next step is to flush those ideas out into post content. The post content writing will have 2 elements: the text inside the image themselves, the post copy. So you can see right here, I have a screenshot of post copy, so she knows what post copy is, and the text inside the image, text inside image. Again, we're making it really, really simple and straightforward, so she doesn't have to come to me with questions. This will answer the questions for her. For this post example, the text inside the images is as follows. Slide 1, and then I just list all of the slides, what the text is. I'm giving her a full example of what this should look like. For this post, an example of post copy is as follows, showing her what the post copy is. Please use the monthly post copy doc to write out your image text ideas slide by slide in post copy labeled fields. Important steps below. And then we give her the step-by-step for this whole process. So step 1, open the doc. Step 2, duplicate the doc. So again, we have this in red highlights. I don't want her to write in this doc itself. I want her to duplicate it. And this is what this doc looks like. Carousel 1. So there's going to be 25 carousels. Carousel 1, post copy, slide 1, all the way through slide 10. And she's just going to write the copy here. So step 3, label your duplicate, month name / year, copy. Step 4, once all copy is written in the copy doc, link and paste that into our content library sheet. So once she goes through and she fills out all of the copy, she goes into our content library sheet, and here's all of the content ideas for April, or for March. Here's all the content ideas for April, and she's working on May right now. So if I were to go click on this, I could go in and then review all of the copy that she wrote. So step 3, build out the carousel. Use the Canva IG carousel design. So this just links to a design in Canva where she can go into my pro account and create anything she needs to create. Use the template to make the idea and copy come to life through the slide images. You can copy this template or work inside this template. Step 4, post content on Instagram. Please post daily, 5 days per week, Monday through Friday. Below are hashtags we found to work well. Feel free to test others. And then note, when posting, please select to also post on our Facebook page, the Real Deal Video Strategist Club, and I have a nice screenshot there so she can follow that very easily. So that's it. That's the whole SOP. And this SOP worked phenomenally for us. It may seem a bit confusing as you're going through it because we're just jumping around, but it's a very streamlined process and has worked well. All right, y'all, so that's how we find VAs, that's how we hire them, that's how we use SOPs to make sure that the process is streamlined and effective. I can guarantee you that the SOP really will be game-changing if you do hire a VA. I can speak firsthand to that. I've hired VAs without them, and now using the SOP, I don't know what I was doing before. So also keep in mind that not every VA out there is a slam dunk. You may hire one and they don't work out. Don't let that ruin your whole experience. There are great ones out there, but it's just like any industry where there's good and bad apples. So you want to make sure you do your due diligence with your interview process and try to avoid hiring a bad apple. Now, you may be wondering, how much do VAs cost? David and I pay $5 an hour for 20 hours a week of work for our VA. Now, the cost of a VA is going to vary like anything based on experience and what task they're doing. So I would suggest think about what your budget is, think about how many hours a week you need someone, and try to find someone who can fit that mold. If you have any questions, guys, feel free to hit me up. Happy to answer them, and I'll see y'all around the collective.